All right. Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. My name is Morgan Heitzma with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is all going to be about our DocuSign. We're going to take you into our KW Command platform. We're going to show you how to connect your KW DocuSign with your KW Command. We're also going to show you the initial steps to set up an opportunity as well as utilize your DocuSign within that opportunity. So without further ado, just know that this class is recorded here today. You can find this on our YouTube page, probably about 24 hours after we're done a recording here today. I'm going to drop that link in the chat box down below for you. Also know throughout today's trainings, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to use this chat box. I'll do my best to help address any questions along the way. And just note that if I miss any questions, I'll stay a few minutes at the end of class here to help address those. If by chance your account may need to, if we may need to take a look at your account and troubleshoot, please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'll be happy to take a look and see any issues that may be going on with your system. And without further ado, with our KW Command home screen here, we are going to be navigating into a couple different platforms here. We're going to be navigating within our KW Command and within our DocuSign. So as we take a look here, this is going to be the first initial step in getting our DocuSign created. It's actually going to be set up through our KW Command. If this is your very first time signing into KW Command, or if you're new to Keller Williams in general, it's going to be agent.kw.com to get to this page right here. And it's going to take your KW username and password, that login that you created right when you joined the Market Center. And with this right here, today we're going to use Scott's KW Command login. And once you click sign in here, it should take you to your KW Command homepage. Now, we'll wait a moment for this to load up here. Within our KW Command homepage, the dashboard is really going to show you little glimpses into all the different tools and resources within your KW Command system. You can find those tools and resources on the left-hand side right here. So if I were to click on the red KW square on the top left-hand corner, you should see all of your navigational pages right here. And just as we see, they're divided up into different kind of categories. So here's your contacts, here's your designs are going to be where you create your marketing, and so on. What we actually have right here is a title called opportunities. And opportunities work like your transaction. So it's an opportunity timeline, it's a transaction timeline. And within this, you're able to kind of organize your transactions and be able to view where they're at in the process of closing. So our opportunities are going to be where our DocuSign lives. But before we navigate there, we want to make sure that we want to kind of see that our DocuSign is set up. So in order to do that, we want to go ahead and click on our name on the top right-hand corner here. And once we give that a click, it should bring us a drop-down here. And within our drop-down, you should see an option called Settings. It's going to be third from the bottom here. Now within our settings here, you'll see a number of different third-party applications like Facebook, Google Calendar, a number of these applications that if you're already currently utilizing these, you can go ahead and connect them here. And they should provide a function within your KW Command system. Now if I scroll up a little bit more here up at the very top, you will see a section called DocuSign. And truth be told, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect my DocuSign right here. If you do not have your DocuSign connected just yet, it should be organized underneath the category Digital Signature and Transactions right here. Once we find this, this is actually going to be how we initiate our KW branded DocuSign account. So all these other applications, it's essentially if you have it, you can go ahead and connect it. But this DocuSign connection is going to be where we get started in creating that KW connection with DocuSign. Now, this right here, a couple things to note. Unfortunately, as we're taking a look and creating this KW branded account, if we have a DocuSign account that we use under our, say, our personal email, or say we created an account to help close on our personal house years ago, unfortunately, that email will be tied up to, you don't have to disconnect your DocuSign. I just disconnected mine for an example here. As we're taking a look, unfortunately, you cannot connect an email that has already been established with another KW DocuSign account. So, so we want to make sure that our email address has never been created with DocuSign before. What we'll do right here is we'll go ahead and click on Connect Account. And within here, it'll ask you your preferred first name, your preferred last name, as well as your preferred email. Just note, in the world of logins, we are forgetting our password here, but once we send that registration email over, DocuSign will have an email that they send to you that says verify or authorize, and then you'll go into DocuSign to create your password as well as your security question. Now, if there's already a DocuSign account underneath Scott Leroy at kw.com, if I were to send this registration email right here, I may get an ugly red error down below that says that, that this email is incompatible. Now, you may get two different red errors here. What you see right here, this is a short red error, just one sentence. This technically means that this email may be associated with a KW branded account, but we just may need to log in here with the password, so we don't need to go through a registration process. If this was Scott's personal email and Scott used DocuSign to close on his personal home, if you were to put in scottleroy@gmail.com, you may get a longer string of red error right here. And this means that that email address is just truly incompatible to be a KW branded account. I hope that makes sense, but there are ways around this in swapping emails, but if you need to swap an email, just reach out to us because DocuSign does take a certain set of steps in order to initiate that correctly. But as we're taking a look right here, I actually have a DocuSign account that I already created here. So if you disconnect, or if somehow it gets disconnected and you need to reconnect your DocuSign in here, all we'll have to do is click that login here button. I'll go ahead and type in my email and then log into DocuSign. Now, it may pop up here asking for a password. We'll go ahead and click log in. And what this should do is this should connect that DocuSign account that we just created with our KW command. And it should give you a pop-up here that says DocuSign is now ready and can be found within our opportunities section within command. So as we scroll up right here, one last thing to note that that you do also have an indicator of what email address is currently connected to your KW branded DocuSign account. So if you're ever wondering what email did I use, I don't quite want to disconnect this just yet, but I want to know what email I have under here. It does give you a big majority, but after the @ symbol, it kind of has a few hidden asterisks right here. All right, once we have our DocuSign connected right here to our KW command, the second step right here is we're going to want to create a contact because, again, everything through command says to which contact do you want to create an opportunity for, to which contact do you want to create a smart plan for. So we want to make sure that we first have our contact within our database. So on the top left-hand corner, I'm going to click on that red KW square one more time. And I'm going to make my way over to contacts right here. It's going to be the second from the top. As we're taking a look right here, here's my database. I do have 2 contacts within this database. If I don't see the contact that I want to create an opportunity or a transaction for, I can simply click on this Add Contact button on the top right-hand corner here, and I can fill in that contact information. I'm not going to quite do that today just because there is a full in-depth database class for you guys if you are interested in learning the ins and outs of your contact section within KW Command. But for today's class and today's demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and use one of these contacts that we already have within our database. So right here, I found the contact that I want to create a transaction for. So from this point, I can either create an opportunity from this timeline right here underneath opportunities, or I can just go to my opportunities section right down here. So it looks like two people shaking hands. Since I'm already here on this contact, I'm just going to create an opportunity on this contact right here. I'm going to go ahead and create a listing. And then again, I'm just going to put in just only a little bit of information right here. But we're going to end up creating this opportunity under the Cultivate Watch stage. So I'm going to click Create right here. And now we have a buyer and a listing opportunity for fake name. We just created a listing opportunity. And at this point, we can just go ahead and jump into it from our opportunities here. And then one extra thing is I do know that I created an opportunity pretty quick. I also jumped through the contacts pretty quick. But again, just note that there is also a full in-depth opportunities class for us. So as we're taking a look right here, I have a listing that I just created. It was our fake name listing right here. Once you create an opportunity, we can jump into the opportunity by clicking on the title. And from here, we have our details, marketing, documents, offers and commissions, notes, and timeline. The information that's really important in terms of the DocuSign portion of this is going to be the details section as well as the documents section right here. If we go ahead and click on documents, you'll see it may end up giving you a blank-ish page right here first. But first, we need to click on the pick checklist type. And then again, this is where my screen may look a little bit different from yours. Once we click on our checklist type right here, your market center is the one that creates these checklists for you. So if you're not in the same market center that I selected, yours may look a little different here. But I just clicked on a residential listing right here because we are within a listing opportunity. And once I clicked on a residential listing, it gave me all of these forms or all these checklist sections for me to drag and drop forms to. Now, from here on, we can go ahead and just pull forms from our computer that we have that we want to kind of upload to our market center. We also have the opportunity to connect DocuSign, and DocuSign is what I kind of like to call the workshop of your forms. You actually get to jump into DocuSign, work on those forms, send those forms out to get signatures. They'll come back signed to your DocuSign, and then you'll just go ahead and drag and drop them here. So really cool way to be able to kind of work everything into kind of one or two different platforms here. So as we're taking a look, we only have the ability to attach files from our computer. As you see right here, we have a gray button that says Start a Transaction. And this gray button may only appear if we have successfully connected our DocuSign within our settings. So if you don't see this button at all, chances are you may need to come back to your settings here and reconnect your DocuSign account. The second thing that we'll notice is it's dark gray and it says Start a Transaction. What this means is you have DocuSign connected to your command. However, you don't have a DocuSign room connected to this opportunity just yet. So we can kind of identify that by the dark gray button. Once we click Start a Transaction, what this button's going to do is it's going to give us a pop-up here, and it's going to create a DocuSign room specifically for this one listing right here. What else it will do is it will change its color to something that looks similar to this, like a white button with blue text right here. And this is your indicator that says there is a DocuSign room successfully connected. So we'll go ahead and watch this in real time here. We'll click on Start a Transaction. We'll choose our DocuSign right here. We'll get a pop-up for a new tab. There we go. it will create that DocuSign room for us. And then again, it'll give you all that listing information. So fake name listing and so on. So, and then what else it will do, we'll go back to our opportunities right here. It'll change that button to a white button that says go to transaction. So now at any point in time, if I'm over in my pipeline right here and I'm taking a look and I say a fake name, does fake name have a DocuSign room? White button, yes, they do. Now, once we're inside of here and we connect that DocuSign room, something else changes within our opportunity. And if we take a look down below right here, now you have attached files from DocuSign. So before we only had attached files from computer. Now we have the ability to attach files from DocuSign here. And then there's one other section that says working folder. And you have your DocuSign rooms. And we'll get to this here in a minute. But just know that you are able to create additional folders within that one room there. Now, you also have a drop down right here as well. So it changed from a drag and drop option from your computer over to a drop down. And these drop downs will only appear with those signed documents there for you. So since I don't have any documents that are signed just yet, there won't be anything that shows up for us. Now, one last thing to mention within our opportunities right here is once we've successfully connected our DocuSign and created a DocuSign room, if we go back to our details tab right here, you'll see something that kind of appears for us that we didn't quite see previously. I'll wait for this to load up. And that's going to be these synced icons or tags right here. So what this means right here is that all of this information from your opportunity has been synced over to your details tab within your DocuSign room. So now you have fake name listing on the listing side, which market center we created the opportunity under, and so on. So now as we start filling out our opportunity here, we have a sync transaction button that will allow us to port over that information to our DocuSign without us having to enter in that information over again. Now let's kind of go ahead and take a look at this feature right here. As you see, I don't quite have a listing, but if we scroll up right here, the opportunities section, the listing section within opportunities does have a unique button to allow us to pull in a specific listing. So I'm just going to type in 123 Main Street here. And once I select a property, it pulled in all of this information here for me. So I didn't have to enter in all this data. All I have to do is refresh my page. And then we can start to see all of the information that has been updated, but has not yet been synced over to our KW command, so synced over to our DocuSign system. So as we take a look right here, going back to our details tab in DocuSign, you'll see we have fake name is created underneath this market center. But as we scroll down right here, you'll see we don't have any of the address information, the listing info right here. Once we click on sync transaction, it should pull that information over for us. We'll sync that. We'll refresh here. And then you'll see that it's all been synced again. And then when we refresh this page, it should pull in that data. And there you go. So there's our 123 Main Street. There's our county, country, state. So all that information got pre-populated in here for us. Now, why is this important? This really allows us to utilize a function within DocuSign. It's called Power Forms. So it's something a little bit different. Each one of these forms right here, if I were to go ahead and click on one, any kind of power form will actually pull information from the details tab right here. So let me actually start from scratch here. Now, depending on your market center, you may have forms that pre-populate in here. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine as well, because chances are it may start off blank just like this right here. And if we pull a form into our DocuSign room, we'll simply click on the blue add button right here. We can pull forms from our computer, from zip forms, from any kind of digital storage platform. And then we also have DocuSign forms right here. And if we click on DocuSign forms, it's divided into two different categories: our packets as well as our libraries right here. Now, packets are something that you and your Market Center can create. Think of them as template folders where you can pick and choose any one of these forms right here, throw them into like a buyer packet or a listing packet, seller's packet, anything like that. But down below right here within your libraries, these are where your forms come from. So we have Market Center forms and as well as board forms. So giving a look down here, again, you may not have as many as I have, but you should have at least your Market Center as well as your board. So KW and then your Market Center number, that will show you your Market Center forms. And then, you know, the FMLS, of course, that's going to be your association. So taking a look right here, how do we get these forms to populate within this section right here, within our Add DocuSign Form section? We'll simply go ahead and click on our name on the top right-hand corner here, and then we'll click on Preferences. Once we click on Preferences here, all we have to do is click on Integrations on the left-hand side right here. And then once we get to this page, there's going to be one of two things that you'll see. You'll either see something similar to this, or you'll only have this Add Provider button right here in blue. If you have a blue Add Provider button, all you have to do is give it a click, and you'll have this pop-up that shows. There will be two options for us to choose. One's going to be this option down below here. Continue to company forms without validation. So it's not quite highlighted for you, but it is a clickable text that allows you to pull in your Market Center forms. So we're going to want to click on that first. And what it does is it pulls in what's called your company forms or your Market Center forms. The second thing that we want to do is we'll want to go ahead and click on Add Provider again. And right here, we'll go ahead and connect our association. So again, you have a number of different associations here. If you belong to National Association of Realtors, you'll go ahead and enter in your NRDS number, last name, and then the association that you belong to. Now, I do know some of you may also still use zip forms, right? So we do have a connection for zip forms as well. It's going to be right above here. So again, if you're one of the areas that still utilize zip forms, we'll go ahead and click on this arrow on the top right-hand corner here. And then we'll enter in our zip forms username and password. And this should allow you to be able to pull from your transactions folders as well as your zip forms library. So you can pull in forms that you're already currently working on as well as brand new blank forms. What you'll do is you'll essentially pull them into, let me get back here. You'll pull them into your opportunity room right here, and then you can actually work on them in real time in DocuSign and then send them out. So now that we've connected our board forms as well as our Market Center forms, again, clicking this blue Add button and then DocuSign Forms right here, we can go ahead and take a look and see what kind of forms we want to pull in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull in a couple different forms. How we do this is simply just click on the checkbox that you'd like to pull the form in and then just click Add Selected. If you're a little uncertain what these forms represent, all the way on the right-hand side right here, you'll have a preview button. So this is just a sample form, just kind of for you to be able to identify what this actually represents right here. So let's go ahead and give this one a click. There we go. And I'm just going to pull in a few random forms. I'm hoping some of it will, there we go. So some forms we can pull in that will look just like this. And again, this is what's kind of expected here. But every once in a while, you'll also come across an option that kind of gives you a drop down right here. So the difference between this bottom one right here is this bottom one is just a blank form that you can pull in and fill out. This top section right here that has a drop down, this means that either you or your market center has created a template off of this form right here, and you can actually choose to use the original form or the template right here. You see how this says combined template. So, so again, depending on what you'd like to use, you have the option to utilize the template or the original here. So I'm just going to pull both of these in. I'm just going to maybe do. I'm going to pull in 4 forms and then click Add Selected. And what this will do is this will pre-populate all these forms in here for us. Now, what I really want to do is I want to highlight the ability to utilize these power forms. So I'm going to zoom in here really quickly. There we go. As you take a look, the bottom right-hand corner, this icon that says form that's in blue right here, this represents that DocuSign power form, which takes bits of data from your details and pre-populates it onto the form right here. Now, there will be some other icons to be aware of as well. If you pull in a PDF, it'll have that that red PDF look. Let's see right here. So something kind of like this. It'll look something like red PDF right here. Unfortunately, this cannot be used in terms of grabbing the information from the details. It's just kind of like a solid image. It's just a PDF of the document. One last icon is going to be one that looks similar to this, only it's going to be green. It may have a check, and this means that your form came back signed. This is the signed version of the document. So I don't quite have that just yet, but hopefully at the end of class here today, I can show you what that looks like. So all of these are power forms that we pulled in. Any forms that you pull in from your DocuSign right here should be those power forms. But any forms that you pull in from your computer, your PC, may not have that ability. Now, taking a look right here, let me refresh to see if I get a good image of these documents right here. There we go. Now, you see that we pre-populated the listing information, but on the right-hand side right here, you have a lot of other information as well. You have seller number 1, so here's my contact. Seller number 2, we did not add a co-seller, so there's no information here. Listing agent number 1, since we're in Scott's command, it's going to be Scott's information here. Listing agent 2, we don't quite have that. And then you have buyer 1, buyer 2, buyer agent 1, buyer agent 2, and then you have your brokers, your buyer broker, listing broker. Now, if at any point something pulls in wrong information, say your opportunities fake name had a typo in the name, and that translated into a typo within your DocuSign rooms. What we can simply do at this point, we can just click on the edit button on the top right hand corner here, and we can go ahead and adjust this accordingly. And then hit save right here. So now we have like this little S. So so as we're taking a look, we can kind of adjust that accordingly if things are a little bit different than they should be. But if you're seeing a constant error within like information, we may want to check back on our opportunity or within the contact itself to see if there's any misplaced information. All right, so we have the seller information and then the seller 2, listing agent 2, and then let's add some information on a buyer right here. So I'm going to edit, and I'm just going to go ahead and let's see, buyer 1. Sally Sue. We'll go ahead and save Sally as buyer number 1. A fake name is going to be the seller. And then as we move over to our documents right here, let's go ahead and let's see if we can click on one of these documents to see that information populate in real time. All right, let's see if we can see if this one pulls in the information. So the trick is finding a document that actually has information that needs to be populated. Perfect. So as you see right here, you have Sally Sue, which I just populated into the details tab right here. Fake name. It even caught that typo that I adjusted as well. And then it pulled in that listing address also, as well as the purchase price. So again, being able to kind of first start off with your opportunities, make sure this has the most accurate information, syncing it, and then pulling information from the details. Again, it should help speed this process along for you. So again, at any point in time, if I need to kind of go in here and edit anything, so again, I can adjust that in real time, and then I can hit save and close right here. So again, for those of you who are using zip forms, you can simply pull in your forms right here, adjust it, write it out, and then save it, and then go ahead and send it off for signatures. We'll adjust this other document right here. Maybe want to have a checkbox right here, right here. There we go. And then I'll hit save and close. And then that will save that information for us. So once we go ahead and pull in all the forms that we need to fill out and work on, well, actually, before we actually jump into the envelope, I want to show you one other thing within this section right here, because I think it'll help you in the long run. And that is right next to this blue add button, you have this blue actions button. And if we give this a click right here, this allows you to be able to export your room summary, close your room, leave the room, or add another folder. And if we add another folder right here, I can simply name this signed folder. And once I create that, you'll see that I'll actually have two different folders here that I can start organizing my forms into. So now any of these forms that I send out for signatures, once they come back signed and they have that green icon, I can just drag them up to the sign section right here and then keep everything organized, right? Or if I wanted to organize this based off of going back to our opportunities, you're listed under contract and closed right here. We can also organize the rooms, the folders based off of that. So you have a couple different options for when it comes to adding these folders for your organization. Now, as we're taking a look right here, I'm going to go ahead and pull these two forms that we're working on. And as I click on this checkbox right next to these documents, you'll see a new set of options will populate here for us. So giving this a click, you'll see these pop up right here. Now, this gives you a number of different options. I had a question the other day saying, how do I print off these forms right here? You have a print option right here. We'll give that a click. And then we should be able to print or save off our documents. Again, it's a PDF. So again, I'll just open up the PDF and I can print it off. So as we take a look at this print button, right next to it, you have Create Envelope. So clicking on Create Envelope right here will allow you to jump into that sending and sending off for signature process. Now, before we actually jump into the envelope process right here, you do have a couple new pop-ups. Well, I'd say new for this year. With these new pop-ups here, you have the ability to pull in any sides of the transaction that you want that you're expecting to send these documents out to. So, for example, I have a seller, I have a buyer, and then I have a listing agent. So right here, I can say I want to send these documents to, say, the buyer and the seller, or maybe I just want to send this to, say, the seller. So here at this point, I can go ahead and select this. So you'll see what happens as we kind of say maybe buyer one. I think we only pre-populated Sally Sue's first name, so I don't think it quite pulled in an email address for her, but we can go ahead and adjust that on the next page. But let's go ahead and go with, let's do seller one here just because we have that full fake name information. Once we click continue right here, we'll be greeted with our next page. And our next page is truly just setting up our email. How's our email going to look? What forms are going to be attached to this email and so on. So first at the very top here, you'll see our form has been pulled in. We can view that form. So again, as we start making any kind of adjustments, we can kind of take a look at that. We can upload other forms from either a template that we have, from our room documents, and so on. So again, we have our room docs or our signed docs because we just created our signed folder. And let's go ahead and add selected here, and we can add multiple forms if we've forgotten to add ours. All right, perfect. Again, we can go ahead and view and make sure that we've added this correctly here. And then scrolling down below, you'll see that we had fake name populate right here. We didn't have any other bits of information that we selected here. So we'll just go ahead and delete some of these here. Perfect. So we have fake name that we're going to send this to. Again, it pulled in all that information from the details tab, which pulled in that information from the opportunities. Let's say we forgot that we were actually going to send this to the listing agent as well. So let's go ahead and add another recipient right here. And at this point, I can go ahead and type in Scott Leroy. We'll wait a second, and once we populate that name right here, it should start to cycle through your contacts within DocuSign here to be able to kind of pull in that specific information. And I'll show you that here in a moment as well. Now, as we're taking a look right here, so first and foremost is what forms are we going to send via email? Second is who are we going to send this to? And then third is going to be what does that subject line in that message actually say? Before we actually get to the message, just note that that whenever we're dealing with technology, sometimes things work a little bit wonky in a way that we may or may not want it to. What I'm going to show you right here is just something to possibly be mindful of, especially if you're adding a number of different contacts to the recipients list right here. Is you'll see that I have a fake name as signer number 1. We can see that by the 1 indicated on the left-hand side right here. You can also see it based off of the timeline order if we start from the first being up at the top to the last being at the bottom. Now, as we kind of go through here, if you're having 3-4 different contacts signing this and say, oh, actually Scott really needs to be the first signer right here, watch closely what happens when we drag this and move Scott over to the first signer. What you'll see is Scott dragged back down, but now both signers are listed as the first signer right here. So we just kind of want to make sure that if this ever happens during your recipients or adding recipients, we just want to be sure to adjust this accordingly. So again, we want Scott to be signer number 1. So we're just going to adjust fake name right here to signer number 2. And then it should adjust it accordingly here. Okay. So again, every once in a while we deal with technology, right? Something wonky happens, but as long as we're mindful of it, it should be no problem for us. So I'm going to adjust this back over. Fake name's going to be number 1. Scott Leroy is going to be number 2. And then we can go ahead and take a look at this. So scrolling back down, the email subject line and the email message, truth be told, DocuSign does a pretty good job of setting up a good email that all the client has to do is click on, and then it'll take them through the signing process. But if there's something that you wanted to add in context, like we need this signed by Thursday, or any additional information that might help your client, you can go ahead and add that here. You have up to 10,000 characters of text that you can add. But again, I think DocuSign does a pretty decent job with the standard default. So I'm going to hit next right here. And then next comes the fun part. So this is where we're actually going to go to add the initials, the signatures, the date stamps, those types of things. As we're taking a look at this page right here, I think it's best to note that the center, of course, is going to be your documents. This is going to be where you apply all of the information. The left-hand side are going to be all of your tools, all the things that you can drag onto the document. On the right-hand side right here, This is going to be all of the options for that specific tool that you're selecting. So for example, I haven't selected any options yet, so just kind of showing me all the different documents that I have right here. But if I were to click on signature and drag signature over, you'll see it gives me all the options for my signature. Is this a required signature? Is this an optional signature? So you'll have this these options right here. A non-required signature, or things that are optional, are going to appear instead of a filled in color. The color is going to be actually on the border. So as we're taking a look at this right here, you'll see signer number 1 has yellow. Up at the very top left right here, you can toggle between signer number 1 and signer number 2. Each signer should have their own unique color for you to be able to identify who's signing which section on the document. So Scott's signer number 2, Scott's going to be a blue right here. So I'll drag that same signature over. So you'll see that we have a blue signature and a yellow signature. Again, I'm going to check that off so you can see that these are both optional. And again, checking these on, you'll see that full filled in color right here. Now, the reason why I kind of want to show you this right here is because down below you'll also have these gray boxes right here. So keep in mind, even though there's these gray boxes that auto-populated information for us based off of the details tab, even though it gives you the opportunity to fill this in, just note that it's not going to give your clients these text boxes to fill in. So this is basically a last call for you to fill in any other pertinent information on these documents before you send it out for signatures. So great example is if I were to click on the preview button on the top right hand corner here, you'll see that that it doesn't have those text boxes or any options for your clients to sign. So they'll go ahead and just follow this list down here and sign. So again, light gray is going to be only for you to adjust. And then the colors are going to be for each signer. Now I'm going to make both of these required one last time right here, and I'm going to drag this down, and I'm going to drag these down one more time. And as we take a look right here, if there's ever a situation where sometimes your tools are a little bit larger or a little bit smaller than your section, we have these dotted these dots on each corner to allow us to shrink this down a little bit to the according size. And then we can go ahead and adjust this here. This right here is actually initials. So we can go ahead and click on whatever object. We'll hit the backspace just to delete it here. We'll go ahead and click on initial, drag it over, and then we can shrink that down. What else is really cool is if we right click, we can copy these objects here. So if I need an initial for the seller, and it looks like, again, that pre-populated in here for us. But if I needed an initial for the seller, I can right click, I can paste or paste to location. And then again, I can adjust this on the right-hand side right here per object. So pretty cool. In this case right here, it's just the buyer. So we'll copy here, we'll paste the location, and we'll just keep that standard there. We'll do the same thing with this one. Copy, paste the location, and then again, we might shrink this down ever so slightly. And now we have our initials. Now, another thing to keep in mind is date signed right here. So date signed is going to give us a long string of, I believe, date as well as time, and that's going to auto-generate based off of when the individual is signing the document. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to adjust this. I know it's a long string. So, so again, if I were to hit preview right here, your date stamps may look something. Oh, here, let's toggle back over to fake name right here. Your date stamp may look something a little bit larger, something like this that you may or may not be intending to have. So again, be sure to kind of keep a little bit of space for your timestamps right here. Again, they do kind of have the date as well as the time that it's signed. And then again, of course, as you're previewing on the top left-hand corner, you can preview based off of which signer is working on the document. So fake name right here, I can click on start, and it'll actually take you all the way through these sections right here as if you were the client signing. All right. Now, as we're taking a look right here, one last thing, you do have checkboxes as well. So you have checkboxes, drop downs, radios. You have a lot of different options here to choose between and play with here. If I drag a checkbox over, again, is this going to be a read only or is this going to be interactive? So that'll be up to you. Say that I only want this to be a read only checkbox for them to acknowledge, or if I want them to interact with it, they can do so. Drop downs. I do want to show drop downs because these are pretty fun right here. So you start off with a standard drop down right here. If you give it a double click, we won't double click just yet, but if you click on this drop down right here on the right hand side, it'll give you all these options. It may look intimidating at first, but truthfully, it kind of opens you up into the section that you need to be in right here, which is your add option right here. So I can add option number 1. Whoops. I can add option number 1, I can add option number 2, and I can add option number 3 right here. And as we're taking a look, then I can double click right here and I can see what that looks like in real time for that signer. If there's a specific default that I would like to have first, I can choose that default after I'm done selecting or creating the drop-down options. So as we're taking a look here, this looks pretty good. If you still need to work on your envelopes before you send them out, just know that on the top right-hand corner here, you can click your actions, save and close, or you can just discard it if this was just a test or practice for you. But in this case right here, I'm going to go ahead and send off. It's going to send this document down that chain of command that I set up. So it's going to send it to signer number 1 first. And then once signer number 1 is done signing, it's going to send it over to signer number 2. Again, just to kind of reorient ourselves where we're at, I like to say that the document section within your DocuSign rooms may be kind of that home page for you. And then you have, again, that details. And then you have envelopes right here is where we just created an envelope. And again, we can kind of see the status of this envelope as well. It says waiting on others. Once we give this a click, it opens us up even further with more info saying that currently it has been sent to fake name right here. So it's in fake name's hands. We're currently waiting for fake name to sign it. And then once fake name has signed it, it'll say signed right here. And then it'll say currently down below. And they'll just follow that chain of command. If there was a situation where it didn't get sent over to the client, we can simply resend this. So we can resend this out. There we go. If there was an issue with the DocuSign, say we forgot to enter in a checkbox, right? Or we forgot to enter in an initial. What we can do is we can actually click on correct right here. And we can correct this envelope. We'll wait for a second here. And then it'll bring us back over to any section that we need. So at the very beginning, if we forgot to add somebody, we can add somebody right here. Next page, if we forgot a drop down or a checkbox or an initial, we can correct that right here. At the very end, we'll go ahead and click on correct. And then it'll send out. It'll also give you a correcting indicator right up top here. And then one more time, we'll jump back into this. And then we can kind of see that, that list again. So it's been corrected, it's been sent out, and now we're currently still waiting for signer number 1. So as we have a few more minutes here, taking another look, I'm going to jump back over to the document section right here. If we want to add team members or transaction coordinators to our DocuSign room. So for team members, this information is for you. When we go and we create an opportunity within our command here, whoever actually clicks on that dark gray start a transaction button, it's going to link the opportunity to that individual's DocuSign. I hope that makes sense. So if your buyer's agent clicked on start a transaction, that DocuSign room is going to be created underneath your buyer's agent's DocuSign. So so on and so forth. So whoever clicks that start a transaction button via team is going to go to their personal command DocuSign. With that, so there could be complications, right? So there could be a couple team members working on the forms, and one has access, one doesn't. In order to kind of provide access to other team members, we'll simply click on the people section right here. So again, you may not have as many individuals as I have here. You should at least have your market center. Because that's very important. That's how your DocuSign stays connected to your market center and how things run functionally and smoothly. So please do not remove your market center staff. But in this section right here, since we are underneath fake names 123 Main Street, we'll have people. We can actually invite individuals via their email, first and last name, and then what side of the transaction they're on. And then this should allow us to be able to select certain roles for them to be able to edit and help with creating these documents. So invite to room is going to be internally for individuals that you're looking to help you with those forms. Now you'll also have a contact section on the top right hand corner, and this is going to be more of your address book. This is going to be where you can plug in your client's information, so when you send out an envelope here, it'll just pre-populate their info. So you have two different contact sections. So one's a people section for internal, the other's a contact section for external. And once I click on my name on the top right-hand corner and click on contacts, it's going to immediately enter you into the directory. Again, directories, this is pre-populated based off of your market center. So again, I get questions sometimes if I can go in here and delete these, remove these. Unfortunately, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a directory. So unfortunately, we can't quite do too much with this right here. But with your address book right here, this allows you to be able to add your contacts to be able to pull them in via the envelope section, the add recipient section. So again, two different ways. Add contact, again, simply add first, last name, email, and then we can go ahead and save, and then that name should pop up for you when you're ready to use them. All right, 5 more minutes left. Let's see, templates. Let me run through templates here with you really quick. So I'm going to make my way back. Up at the very top hand corner here, you'll see dashboard, rooms, inboxes, and my documents. This is if we if you are indoors and DocuSign was indoors and you just stepped outdoors, this is where this top section is going to be. So this is your looking outside, looking at all of your rooms that are available. We can kind of take a look and see those accordingly and jump into them. As we jump into them, then we kind of see what we are used to with our details, documents, people, and so on. So dashboard, rooms, you have inbox, and then my documents. Clicking on my documents right here, this is where we go to create templates. And the first disclosure I have here is the only forms that you're able to pull in are forms that have been connected through your market center and your board forms. Okay, so unfortunately we can't create our very own templates and then upload them here. This again will say to which form do you want to pull into this template. So up the very top right here, you have My Packets. And this whole section right here, this is just your organizational method. These are all the packets that either you created or that were created on your behalf from the Market Center. So taking a look at this right here, we also have My Forms down below. So again, any kind of forms that we've like edited or forms that we can pull in, we'll see those right here. And we have up to seven forms right here. And then up right here, you'll see that one template was created off of this form. So to create a new packet, we'll go ahead and click on New Packet right here. This is organized based off of, I believe, numbers first and then letters. So as you see, I did 111, 11, and then an asterisk 111. So let's do 4 ones. We'll hit continue right here, and then it'll say select library. Which forms or which library do I want to pull from? Market Center forms or board forms? So let's do Market Center forms. Let's see. Let's do Market Center forms here. And then scrolling down here, you'll see all the different Market Center forms that we can kind of pull in. So we want these forms right here. We'll save that to a packet. And now we have our 3 forms right here that we can see. We can also manage these forms as well. So again, we can select from library, pull in some other forms, and then go ahead and save them. So now we have all these different forms that are pulled into a packet. So now you can create a buyer's packet that you just pull in these forms really quick, a listing packet, pull these forms in really quick. Another thing is, so those are how you pull forms into packets. Down below, these are how you create templates on those forms. So if there's a new template that you want to create, again, we'll go ahead and select a specific let's do our Market Center form again. We'll go ahead and we'll just select a random form here. We'll click on use. And then now we can go ahead and edit a template off of this form right here. So we'll edit a template off of this form. We'll save and close. And then we'll pull this template into a packet for us to use at a later date. Gosh, okay, I think that's going to be about it for me today. Again, thank you so much for sticking with it. I know that was a lot of information, but again, if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. Again, we'd love to help you with anything that you guys may need. And again, have a fantastic weekend.